So good afternoon again. We are all familiar with sustained low efficiency daily dialysis as we know it, and it can be done on conventional hemodialysis machines. But today Rajiv asked me to concentrate on what is known as sustained low efficiency daily diafiltration, in which we would use the online preparation of substitution fluid to give the patient a hemodiafiltration. There are three prerequisites to that. First of all, the water that we use has to conform either to Indian Society of Nephrology or European Union purity standards. Second, we need a sterile bicarbonate powder, not the liquid bicarbonate. So this is a sterile bicarbonate powder that we will be using. And third, we will be using this machine, the 5008S hemodialysis machine. What this machine has is, it's got two pumps. This is the blood pump, and it's a special type of blood pump. You can see that just at the end, start of the blood pump stator, there is a little sensor which logs in with a spike on the blood cell, and it has a replacement fluid pump which will deliver the replacement fluid. The machine also has over here two DiaSafe filters which will purify the dialysate by about 10,000 times reduction in microbial and endotoxin content. So let's start with sustained low efficiency daily diafiltration. My machine was switched on this morning, a disinfection was done, residual disinfectant was removed, and now the machine is saying that I can either rinse it or I can go to a treatment. Let's go to a treatment, and this is what the machine says. Connect the acid canister and close the flap. So here we go. I've opened the acid concentrate and I'm going to connect it there, and I'm also going to now connect the bicarb to its socket. So this is where we place or hang the sterile bicarbonate bag and close the flap, and now we are ready to load the blood lines. This machine takes a dedicated blood set, and that, unlike the conventional blood sets which have a pump segment diameter of 6.4 millimeters, this one, the segment is 8 millimeters, and as I said earlier, there is a little spike on the blood segment which engages with the sensor. So I am now going to load this pump segment into the blood pump. Here you can see this little spike here. So I'll open the door of the machine. I'm going to place this segment here, and you heard that little sound. That indicates that I placed it properly, and what the machine then did was to open the dome that allows me to place the pressure sensor here. So I'm going to now place my pressure sensor here. That's placed. This is the arterial line clamp through which I sit. This is the blood volume detector. This is the blood thermal detector. And now I can connect the other end. Is ready for me to use. I'm going to place it here for priming, and I'm going to connect this end to the dialyzer. So I take it out from here, and I'm going to connect it to the arterial port on my dialyzer. As you can see here, red goes to red. So that's done. My arterial tubing is in place. Now I'll take my venous tubing and place it. So I'm going to place my venous bubble chamber there. I'm going to let this travel over it. I'm going to bring that out and connect this to the venous side of the dialyzer. And I'm going to place that in the line clamp, the air detector, and now this is ready for use as well. So as the machine is now telling me, I need to wait for it to successfully perform its self-test. The message here that's on the screen is telling me that the machine is now going through its self-test, it's preparing the dialysate and it's testing it for the right conductivity and temperature, after which I will be able to place the safe line. This is the safe line. This is used for delivering the replacement fluid, and in this case we are also going to use it for auto priming. It also has a rinse port here which I am going to use in the auto prime. So this is the rinse cap which I am going to connect to my venous line. As we can see at the top of the screen, the progress of the machine self-test. During this process, what the machine does is to test the entire alarm and monitoring system, including the conductivity, temperature and other parameters of the dialysate fluid, the arterial and venous pressure monitors. Perhaps while we wait for the machine to complete the test, we can have a look at what parameters we can set on the machine. So this is the dialysate menu on the machine. We have chosen to use a dry canister of bicarbonate. We have set our sodium of the dialysate at 138 and a bicarbonate of 35. This is the dialysate flow which we have kept at the lowest possible value of 100 ml per minute. And this is the menu in which, as we can see, I can set the dialysate flow in steps of 100 all the way from 100 to 1000. There is also on this machine an auto flow option. So should we be dealing with a vascular access that is not giving us the required flow that is required, what we can do is to set the auto flow option. If the auto flow is switched on, the auto flow factor is 1.2. That means the machine will automatically adjust the dialysate flow to 1.2 times the blood flow that is being obtained from the vascular access, thereby ensuring no wastage of the dialysate fluid. Let's look at the ultrafiltration menu. This is where we can set the ultrafiltration goal and the time. The goal can be set in steps of up to 10 ml at a time. We can set the ultrafiltration time. Now, unlike the previous generation of machines which had a time limit of 10 hours that could be set, or 9 hours 59 minutes to be accurate, we can set up to 24 hours on this machine at a time. So we can set 24 hours, which allows us to deliver very slow ultrafiltration rates, especially useful in small children. Though Fresenius has made a caveat in 2018, they issued a warning that children below 17 kilos should not be dialyzed on this machine because possible errors in the balancing chamber, which is responsible for the volumetric ultrafiltration control, may occur. Nevertheless, we can go for a 24-hour treatment with this machine. I'm going to accept that for the time being. I'm going to say OK. Here, the ultrafiltration goal, I'm going to set that at 1 liter for now. So as you can see, I can deliver a very small ultrafiltration rate of just 42 ml per minute. We also have the online system here. So in that situation, we have chosen hemodiafiltration post dilution. That is, we're going to deliver the replacement fluid with the help of the replacement pump post filter in this situation, and once the machine passes the self-test, it will allow me to set the goal of replacement fluid and the rate of replacement fluid delivery. It's the safeguard of this machine is that unless the dialysate and replacement fluid test is completed and meets with the safety standards required, we cannot set substitution fluid rates. See, the machine has completed the T1 test. It says T1 test completed. I pressed OK, and it now says if necessary connect substitute and rinse connectors. So I'm going to do that now. This is the safe line which I'm now going to place in. There, that's placed correctly, and now I'm going to open the substitute connection. So now I've fixed my substitute fluid connection, and I'm going to prime my machine using the same fluid. So I'm going to connect my arterial connector to the substitute fluid. So here we are. Now I'm connecting connecting so I don't need saline to prime this set. I'm going to connect it here. That's connected. So my machine is going to prime with the diafiltration fluid, and I'm going to connect my venous connector. So this is where the machine is going to dump the rinse, and this is the rinse port. So now I have a closed circuit here. The machine is now telling me to connect my substitution, my dialysate couplings. So let's connect those. So now the dialysate is connected to the dialysate compartment, the blood lines are connected. Let's close the shunt, and now the machine asks if I want to do priming and rinsing. I'm going to use the auto prime option here. So I'm going to start, and as you can see, the machine says that the dialysate side priming has started, and it will then automatically start the blood side priming. As you can see, the substitution pump has started, and in a few seconds, so will the blood pump. Yeah. Now you can see both the pumps have started, they are running at the same rate. So substitution fluid, that is the dialysate fluid which has been double ultrafiltered to produce a 10,000 time reduction in bacteria and endotoxin, is being used in place of normal saline to prime the circuit. The substitution fluid is drawing from the substitution pump is drawing the fluid from the substitution port, delivering it into the arterial blood line, and the arterial pump is then driving that further through the blood compartment of the dialyzer, while the dialysate compartment is being rinsed with the same dialysate fluid. I'm not sure if it's visible here, but you can see that the air is being removed from the blood set. The air bubbles are being removed completely, and the beauty of this is we don't have to do anything manually. It's all being done and dumped to the rinse port automatically. And what we can also see here is we plan for a rinse volume of 500 ml. Every 10 ml it is updated. So 140 ml of rinse volume there, that's 150 ml of rinse volume has now been used, and the machine is going to continue to do that on a regular basis. So now the machine has completed the priming and rinse. As you can see here, we set a volume of 500 ml for priming. It's now reached 550. Let's look at all the settings and menus before we connect our patient. This is the blood system. We can set the arterial chamber level, and we have an option of changing the lines if something is wrong. Not required here. Let's go to the dialysate menu. Yeah. Now we can see that the conductivity is 13.8, which corresponds perfectly to the settings fed into the machine. For this particular concentrate that we have used, which consists of the bibag, sterile bicarbonate, along with a citrate-based acid concentrate, the conductivity should be 13.77, and it is 13.8. So we are okay there. 13.8. We've got a sodium of 138 and a bicarbonate of 35. We've set our dialysate flow at 100, and we've kept a auto flow factor of 1.2. Let's go to the ultrafiltration menu. We set 1 liter of ultrafiltration. We decided that we would do sustained low efficiency daily diafiltration over 24 hours. So we're only having an ultrafiltration rate of 42 ml per hour. Let's go to the substitution fluid. Now we have here the options. The machine has passed the self-test, and I have selected hemodiafiltration post-dilution. I also could choose to do plain hemodialysis, pre-dilution hemodiafiltration, or hemofiltration pre or post filter. I'm going to choose hemodiafiltration, and now I can decide on my substitution volume here. haven't chosen to use heparin today. Am I happy with my preparation? Yes, I've now got more than 600 ml of priming fluid. I can stop my pump now and get ready to connect my patient.